Hi, it's me, Patrick, with yet another video all about Kory Floyd's textbook, Interpersonal Communication, 3rd edition. I can't wait for the 4th edition. I heard it's going to have a section on unicorns. I love unicorns. Who doesn't love unicorns, am I right? Oh, I'm right. Okay, enough about unicorns. This week, I'll be discussing Chapter 11, Conflict. And I'll be honest, this chapter has me conflicted. Conflicted, get it? Conflicted. Okay, but seriously, this chapter really does have me conflicted because there are so many topics I would love to cover. But because I'm trying to keep it to 2 videos per chapter, I'm only going to cover 2 things. So, sad face. Please do read the rest of the chapter, though. There's some great stuff there. But enough lamenting about the stuff I won't cover. Let's focus on the stuff I will cover. First things first, power! By the power of Grayskull, I am Patrick, just a speech communication professor, but you know, sometimes I turn into He-Man! Nope, I don't do that. And really, that's not the kind of power we're talking about anyway. No, this power is way more cool. Okay, not way more cool, but, you know, more real. Like, really real. Like, this stuff happens. Okay, let's get started with the characteristics of power. First things first, we need to know that power is context-specific. That is, it changes based on where you are. That is, where the interaction is taking place. At work, you have a different power dynamic than you do at home. Also, power is always present. Yep, it never goes away. It's there, even when you're not aware of it. Kind of like Santa Claus. Next. Power influences our communication. We may have dominant messages or submissive messages, and sometimes messages that don't communicate power at all. Also, power can be positive or negative. As my favorite comic book character, Spider-Man, says, with great power comes great responsibility. Thanks, Spider-Man, for that lesson on power. And finally, power and conflict are related to each other. In fact, a lot of the conflict we experience is over power. And at that end of a conflict, the balance of power may shift. Power and conflict. 2 great tastes that taste great together. Much like my Reese's Peanut Butter Pumpkin. Reese's, supporting my videos for 5 years and counting. Buy Reese's now. Reese's is not a supporter of this or any video or any way endorses Patrick or his ideas or his crazy shirts. So, those are some characteristics of power. There's 5 of them. Power is context-specific. Power is always present. Power influences communication. Power can be positive or negative. Power and conflict influence each other. But what is power? And more specifically, what are the forms of power? I'm glad you asked, invisible person on the other side of this screen. Much like the number of fingers on my hand, there are 5 forms of power. These are reward power, coercive power, referent power, legitimate power, expert power, and this little piggy went wee all the way home. Okay, let's go more in depth. First, reward power. This is the kind of power a person has when they can give a reward to someone. So, for example, if you do something that makes me happy, I can give you a Barton Buck for more points. Sorry, online students, there are no Barton Bucks in your class because, well, I haven't figured out this blockchain technology to give virtual Barton bit bucks. I'm working on it. So, that's reward power. Next, coercive power. This is the power that happens when a person can punish somebody else for something. So if you turn in your paper late, I can give you a penalty. That's coercive power. Next is referent power. This is the kind of power that you have over somebody when they like you, they admire you, they think you're the coolest. The word referent is close to the word revere. When we revere somebody, we almost worship them. So think of the power a friend of yours has because you really like them. That is referent power. The next power is called legitimate power. This is the power that we have when we occupy a certain position in life. So, for example, a police officer has legitimate power because he's been hired as a police officer by your city or state, and thus he has legitimate, or she has legitimate power. Or me, for example, I have been hired by Lone Star College as a professor, so I have legitimate power over my students. The final kind of power is called expert power. This is the power that a person has because they have information that other people don't have. For example, I have a degree in communication. Look, it's right here. Um, uh, Kansas State University said, yeah, this guy knows his stuff. Therefore, you know I am an expert in what I'm teaching. So those are the 5 kinds of power. But, so what? Who cares? Well, you should care because power dictates a lot of our lives. Just think of this class, for example. I have 4 kinds of power over you as my students. And for some of you, I have all 5 powers. Can you think of the power that I don't have for all students? Hint, the answer is in the video I already recorded. I actually gave examples for all of the powers that I have for everybody, but there's one power that I don't have for everybody. Let's all say it together now. Referent power. You didn't say it, did you? Okay, that's fine. I get it. You're too cool to speak along to a video. Anyway, I don't have referent power over every single person in this class. Oh, I'm sure I have it over some people. Some people probably like me and respect me, and that gives me referent power. Aw, thanks. But then I know for sure that some people don't like me. Sad face. But that's okay. 4 out of 5 ain't bad. But that's just about the powers that others, like me, hold over you. What about the powers that you have? Every single person has power over somebody else, and that's because you know stuff that other people don't. So you have expert power over others, depending on the subject. And you also have reward and coercive power. If you have a job, for example, you have the power to reward or punish the people around you with your choices. You also have this power with your friends and family to give them your time or not. That is a reward or a punishment. And everybody has a referent power. That is, there are people that like you. Because these people like you, you hold some power over them. Now, some of you might be thinking to yourself, nobody likes me. Well, no, you're wrong. Because I like you. Even if you annoy me sometimes by being late or not logging into class or not bringing me Reese's peanut butter pumpkins, well, I still like you. And thus you have power over me. Don't abuse that power, okay? Okay. That's it for this video, folks. Wow, that was a lot. Power is complicated and fun to think about. I hope you had a good time thinking through this with me. And tune in to my next video all about conflict management. Until then, enjoy your peanut butter pumpkin.